Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Today we'll be covering an introduction to assembly management in Microsoft Dynamics NAV2013. My name is Gemma Warren and I'm the project manager for Advantage Business Systems. Today we'll be covering item setup, creation of the assembly bill of materials, the review of the assembly bill of materials, how to create sales orders that will trigger an assembly order, as well as creating assembly orders for make to stock. Today, I'm logged in with the role center profile of the shipping and receiving order by order employee. Here we can see in the shortcut and navigation pane menu some of the most used menu items. Today I'm going to review my item list. Within my item list, I can choose to show all assembly bill of materials. As we can see, item number 1924W is an assembly bill of materials. Let's right-click and filter so that we see only the assembly bill of material items. Let's view this bill of materials. This base storage unit is made up of two side panels, one base, one top panel and one rear panel. We can see that the replenishment system for the components are all purchase. The final item is assembled. In some cases, there are assembly items which require more than one level of assembly. Microsoft Dynamics NAV allows for this. Let's review item number 1972W, the Sapporo whiteboard black. As we can see here, there is a whiteboard base and some black paint. Both of these items are purchased. We can view the assembly items by event, period, variant, and location. If we review the item by period, we can see the gross requirements, expected inventory, as well as scheduled receipts and in-transit items. We can also review the quantity on sales and purchase orders. This can be reviewed by day, week, month, quarter, or year. We can also edit the assembly BOM or create a new one if needed. Let's look at item assembly box. If we review the assembly BOM, we're able to see the components that make up that assembly. Here we have 4 distinct items and a box. Each of the items is a package that needs to fit into the final box. Let's add a new item to this list. We can choose to add an item or a resource. In this case, I'm going to add a resource. To assemble the items, it will take Linda Martin 0.5 hours. You can also determine the order and how the assembled items will fit together. For example, these 4 items, item 1, 2, 3 and 4, as packs will fit into item 0110, the box. You can also choose the position which they will fit. We can now calculate the standard cost and unit price of this item. Let's take a closer look at the assembly box item card. We can set a standard cost, a profit percentage, a sales unit of measure, and more importantly, the replenishment system. Here we can see the replenishment system is assembly. There is a 2-day lead time for this. We also can review the assembly policy. We can either assemble to order, so that we assemble goods only when we have sales orders for them, or assemble to stock. On the Planning tab, we can select a reordering policy. For example, we will only reorder our individual components when we receive a sales order for the assembly. Or we may choose to keep certain safety stock or have a reorder point depending on which reorder policy we have. Let's review item number 1924W. Here we can see it is also set to an assembly replenishment with a 2-week lead time calculation. However, this is assemble to stock. We can see on our Planning tab that we have a reorder point of 150 items. Let's place a sales order for the assembly box. To do this, I'm going to navigate to Sales Orders in my shortcut navigation menu and create a new sales order. I'm going to select the Canon Group plc as my customer. And for now, ignore the credit limit check that comes up. This order is only for the 1st of September, so I'm going to change my dates. My posting date, as well as my document dates. I can also insert a requested delivery date. I'm going to keep this to the 2nd of September. Let's complete the order lines. Microsoft Dynamics NAV will filter as you type. Our customer requires 10 of the assembled boxes to be sent to him. The customer will also receive a special price of £4.50. We can see our shipment date here is the 1st of September 2013. That is a Sunday. As we do not ship out on a Sunday, I'm going to make that the 2nd of September. You can see that the planned shipment date automatically changes. Our planned delivery date is also updated according to the setup that we have against our inventory and warehouse. We can see now that the requested delivery date of the 2nd of September will not be met by our planned delivery date. Let's release this order. We can now click on assembly orders straight from the sales order, and we can see that there has been an assembly order created for the assembly box. This assembly order was automatically created by the system for the corresponding starting dates and ending dates as per the setup of the item card and individual components. We can review now the remaining quantity, location code, unit cost. We can also navigate and show any statistics. Here we can see expected, actual and variances for the costs of material, resource and overheads. Let's drill down into this assembly order. The assembly order will show us the individual component items that make up that assembly, as well as the resource for Linda Martin. This is as per the assembly bill of materials that we set up earlier on. We can now show the availability for the items in this assembly. The system will show us where any inventory is not sufficient to cover the change. This could be related to inventory not being in the correct warehouse, or the inventory not arriving on time for the components to be in our warehouse, ready to assemble these items. We can see that we have an expected available inventory of 201 for the component items. However, they are not ready to be assembled. Let's record the quantity anyway. You will not be able to post the assembly order until all of the component items and resources are available to be able to assemble. You first need to ensure that the assembly components are available in the location at the date for the assembly. Let's take a look now at the base storage unit. You'll recall that this is set up to assemble to stock. We can see that we currently have 27 of these items in our inventory. According to our requirements planning, we know that we will need an additional 1 item to be assembled ready for sales. Let's create an assembly order. Assembly management can be found under Departments, Warehouse, Assembly. Let's click on Assembly Orders and we can see the assemblies that are already in our list. Here is the assembly box that was created automatically by the system earlier. We are now going to manually create an assembly item. Where you are using Microsoft Dynamics NAV2013 Material Requirements Planning and Material Planning Schedule, these orders would automatically be prompted for creation. You will automatically be prompted to create these orders according to the plan, forecast and sales orders that you have on your system. Let's create the order for item number 1924W now. We know that these are going to be required in August on the 15th. Let's update our posting dates. The starting and ending dates are automatically updated when we update our due date. Let's complete the assembly lines. We're going to require an extra 1 quantity. As soon as we enter the quantity, we can see that the individual component items are completed on the assembly lines. We now see a quantity to assemble and an assembled quantity. Once again, we can show the availability for these items. Where the quantity is not sufficient to cover inventory, we will receive a warning. Let's record the quantity anyway. Recording the quantity updates the quantity to consume. Let's post this order. First, we'll need to release it. Once the status is released, we can now post. The assembly order has disappeared from our list of assembly orders. Let's review that item once again. We can now see that we have 28 in inventory, and we can see the posted assembly order from the 15th of August 2013. If we navigate on this order, we are able to drill back to the original posted assembly order, as well as reviewing the item and value ledger entries. Let's review the item ledger entry for this order. Here we can see that we created an additional item for 1924 and consumed the relevant component items. This concludes our demonstration for the introduction to assembly management in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013. Thank you for your time today, and I do hope that you've enjoyed this webinar. Please note that we are launching a series of tips and tricks on YouTube. Look out for them, and I do hope that we'll see you in our next webinars. Thank you.